Chasidus on the Parshas V'schanan. So up on the screen we have perhaps one of the most important verses in the entire Torah, which we call the Shema, which says, "Listen, O Israel, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. You are to love Hashem, your God, with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your possessions. And these words that I command you today shall be upon your heart." So today we'll be looking at a piece from the Shemi Shmuel, who quotes from his illustrious grandfather, the Kotzker Rebbe. And he wants to focus on the third verse that we have on the screen, the one that says, "And these words that I command you today shall be upon your heart," in a reference to the idea of Shema. So his question is very straightforward. He said that his grandfather asked, why does the verse say al levavecha? Why does it say that they shall be upon your heart? It should say, as it does in other places, like Be'levavecha, that these things should be in your heart. Okay? Wouldn't that make more sense? Like, that's really what we mean, that these things one should take to heart, like they should literally penetrate your heart. Why is it saying that they should be on top of your heart, so to speak? Al levavecha, upon your heart. What is the meaning of that statement? So those of us who are very familiar with the concept of a Baal Tshuva, and I mean a Baal Tshuva of just like a regular person who, grew up not frum, not orthodox, and then one day becomes frum. There's a process that happens. And I'm speaking from experience myself, that many times you're told, just do the mitzvahs, just do the Torah learning. Even though it hasn't fully penetrated you yet, just do it. And what ends up happening is that one day something happens. Like, maybe it's a tragedy that strikes. Maybe it's the complete opposite. Something amazing happens in your life. Or maybe you hear an inspirational speech. And all of those mitzvahs and all that Torah learning that you did previously, which didn't penetrate your heart, because of this one moment that happens, whatever that moment is for you, all of it just falls. Like a trap door opens and it falls, boom, and it lands in the middle of your heart. And it all makes sense. And all the effort that you did up to that point becomes worth it. So that is what his grandfather said. What he said is that a person's heart many times is closed. It's like a stone, so to speak. And a person's doing mitzvahs and they're serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They're saying Shema and they're talking about the oneness of God, and it just doesn't hit them, so to speak. And then one day out of nowhere it hits them and it just falls right into the heart. So your responsibility is that even when these things are not penetrating the inside of your heart, your responsibility, says the Kotzker Rebbe, is to make sure that these things are still upon your heart. So that when you get that moment of inspiration, it goes with gravity right down into you. So you have a responsibility, and that's what the Shema is saying. Make sure it's there. Make sure it's there for when you have that moment of inspiration, that it falls down. That's why it has to be al levavecha, on top of your heart. Okay? Because it's going to fall and get in there one day, but there's no guarantee that you can just do something and it will enter your heart right away. That's why it doesn't say bil levavecha. That's why it says al levavecha. And so this beautiful idea, may this power us through our weeks, so that even when we don't understand what we're doing, even when we're doubting what we're doing, that we realize that it will all come to fruition one day. You just got to make sure you do it first. Have a great week.